and you got me too. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it, don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and save you. Oh, oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend. And call me anytime when you're out of time. And you, I got you. You got me, got me. You got me, got me. You got me too. I've been saving you. You save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need it too? 'Cause I got you. And you got me too. I wonder if you hear me, 'cause I've been crying out. I wanna have you near me again. I wanna have you close. I feel like I am falling whenever you're around. And I've been longing for your heat, your touch. Oh, I belong to you. Belong to you. I remember years ago, something missing in my soul. Chasing highs, yet always feeling low. I remember how you looked, one hello and I was hooked. Found the missing piece that made me whole. True love don't come round very often. It's like sunshine after the rain. But you know the moment it happens, everything will be okay. I hope I'm not coming on too strong, but you feel like family to me. Finding you was just like finding home, 'cause you feel like family to me. Yeah, you feel like family to me. Yeah, you feel like family to me. You're the reason I wake up with a smile and feel enough. I don't know what I would do without you. Every day I want you more. Tell me I'm forever yours. Let me know it as I stand before you. True love don't come round very often. It's like sunshine after the rain. But you know the moment it happens, everything will be you're hurting. Your body can't keep up, don't think it's worth it. Trying to find a way, trying to heal. But you're like, how the hell am I supposed to feel when everything seems so unreal? Oh, don't get so stressed about it. When your mind starts to wander, don't get upset about it. 'Cause I know that you're going through a phase. Oh, it's only just a phase on your way to a better place. Yeah. I know what will do the trick. Yeah, open up and let me in. 'Cause only love will take you to a better place, a better place. I know what will do the trick. Yeah, open up and let me in. 'Cause only love will take you to a better place, a better place. Feels like we're chosen. Sun is shining when your eyes are open. Start treasure how beautiful life can be. And what a little love can make you feel. Oh, we won't feel joy without it. And your mind starts to wander, don't get upset about it. 'Cause I know that you're going through a phase. Oh, it's only just a phase on your way to a better place. Yeah. I know what will do the trick. Yeah, open up and let me in. 'Cause only love will take you to a better place, a better place. I know what will do the trick. Yeah, open up and let me in. 'Cause only love will take you to a better place, a better place. Feels like we're chosen. Sun is shining when your eyes are open. Start treasure how beautiful life can be. And what a little love can make you feel. Yeah. I know what the trick. Open up and let me in. 'Cause only love will take you to a better place, a better place. I know that I know what will do the trick. Yeah, open up and let me in. 'Cause only love take you to a better place, a better place. Yeah. I don't think that you know I'm trying hard to show. These days it's hard to tell what's on your mind. Why don't you stop pretend like this is what we planned? I can see the end's coming down. And if I don't look back, will you let me get away? If I turn my back and walk, will you stay? I waited for you. I waited for you. And I don't know where to go from here. You never came. It's all the same again. Keep make the same mistakes. you're running out of space. I got closer than you could take. So why don't you stop pretend like I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors. Like the moon needs the sun, we don't care about the others. You set my world on fire. You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire. How many smells does it take to be happy? How many times do you have to feel lonely before you get the chance to meet someone? Before you get to meet someone like you? How many songs can you write about heartbreak? How to go when you're fed up with mistakes? Maybe I just found the answers. Maybe I just found the answers in you. Come give me all your love. I want you to know we can make it together. Let the wind blow. All we need is each other. Come take my hand. You're all that I have now. I won't let you go. 'Cause I found all the answers in you. Ooh, ooh. I look at you, you make me blind. Why do you have to be so beautiful all the time? I know I can't be with you. It's killing me to see you with someone else. What to do? Now I'm in the corner and watching you smile, watching you smile. And I can't get over you, I'm losing my mind. All of the things that I wish I could tell you. Every time when you're passing me by, I fall in love. There's something about you, I wish you were mine. And if I only could be there to hold you, it feels like I stop breathing. Secondhand, I felt a bit forgotten. Not your plan, but now the days of silence outgrow the fun things we have done. But tell me, do you wanna carry on? Plants don't grow without water, and they cave when it's cold. We could go till we're older. Put your head on my shoulder and let's enjoy the ride. When we started, our wishes aligned. We were like yin and yang combined. Now the tables have turned. Can we live and unlearn? You tell me. Plants don't grow without water, and they cave when it's cold. We could go till we're older. Put your head on my shoulder and let's enjoy the ride. Let's just live a life. Anything, anywhere, I don't really care, as long as I'm with you. Say something, don't be speechless. I'm sleepless, so alone in the stillness. Oh, I long for you, sweetness.
I got this picture in my closet. It's gathering dust right now, and the edges have been folded once or twice. Doesn't look the same no more, 'cause the sun has made it pale. I used to have it hanging on my wall some time ago. Picture of you. You're standing by that window, playing your guitar. And if I close my eyes, I can almost hear your song. A picture of you. Picture of you. And I remember every day that I spent with you. The look you had upon your face when I said goodbye. I don't know why I let you go, but I was young and dumb. And all that I have left from that time is a picture of you. I could talk to you for hours, and we stay up all night. And when morning came, we'd make breakfast in bed. I don't know why I threw away what we had. What's wrong with me? I don't know why I threw it all away. And I remember
me to a different place. Just the two of us, and we can stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night. Everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. 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 All that time away from you, I didn't think I'd make it without you by my side. Let me feel your love again. Just the two of us, and we could stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night. Everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you all that time away from you. I didn't think I'd make it without you by my side. Let me feel your love again. Just the two of us, and we could stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night. Everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. 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 Wanna be with. 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 Wanna. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. Let me be. I don't even know if you can understand how you make me feel. I got you make me feel. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Be with you. I wanna be. Be with you. Be with you. Be I'm acting surprised, but I know I'm not over. You keep missing the fights, even though they're so overdue. We had a fire, now we're watching it burn low. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time, not enough time. I'm falling behind. I hate to separate my body and mind. My body and mind. Feel like demons in my mind. Demons in my mind. It tastes like demons in my mind. Demons pushing all my triggers. Losing my pride, but I guess that's what love do to people like us. Struggling to come through. We had a fire that we watched it burn out. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time. I'm falling behind. I hate to separate my body and mind. My body and mind. Feel like demons in my mind. Demons, that's what love do. Feel like demons in my mind. Demons in my mind. It tastes like demons in my mind. Demons pushing all my triggers. 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 I'm acting surprised, but I know I'm not over you. Keep missing our fights. Think I'm losing my mind, but I guess that's what love do. Feel like demons in my mind. Demons in my mind. It tastes like demons in my mind. Demons pushing all my triggers. 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 Demons pushing all my triggers.
At this moment